Morphin folks, Mark here, and welcome to the painting table. This time, I thought I'd paint the Inquisitors from Shatterpoint. With my usual bizarre twist, of course. I know very little about Star Wars, but from the look of it, the Inquisition wears black, with black trim, and black details. How very exciting. There is another group of uniformed warriors with more interesting colours though. Why not merge the two, and have colour with black instead of white? That did mean the Black Ranger was out. He'd end up completely black. Red obviously went to the Grand Inquisitor as the leader. Fifth brother is the only other man, so that made him blue. Fourth sister has yellowish skin. I can't make her outfit yellow as well. Pink for her then, and that leaves third sister to be yellow. Future me's note: the other two Inquisition models are both Vader, so he's getting the green-white Tommy treatment. Start with some base colours to get an idea of... Yep, this is gloriously dumb. I worked on them randomly, so they were all at different stages throughout the month, but for sanity, I'll split them up by colour here. The paint scheme for Red Inquisitor wasn't anything exciting. Pretty standard face, pale and dark-eyed. The clothing was just red, highlighted with flesh tone, and grey shaded with black. My main goal was to control how shiny the different materials looked, to give a sense that they were costumes rather than real armour. Wherever there was white on the Ranger suits, I tried to put some black. Although, that was pretty vague, given I had completely different clothes to work around. Grand Ranger also got some diamonds on his boots, just like a real Ranger, because I'd earned a little freehand moment. Getting the diamonds even was the tricky bit. Roughing it in with red first certainly helped. Given that I'd already bent the Sabers a few times, and that I actually wanted to play the game without them breaking, they couldn't stay plastic. As an extra bonus, clipping them off gave me cape access, so I could add a bit more freehand. Grand Red deserved it. With 5th Ranger, I had to test out the colours first. Finding the right blue was fairly quick though, so I could move on. I'll admit, I thought he was wearing a grey mask, not that he had a big grey face. Otherwise, I probably would have been more subtle with these lines. Anyway, it won't surprise you to see that I used the same black-grey mix, and the process was a familiar looking back and forth between colours and black. Pink Inquisitor's skin was easier than I expected. All I really changed was the base colour, from pinkish to tan. A few stripes on her danglies, and I could start her clothing. Not sure why they decided to texture just the front panels of her cloak. I like the effect, but it does kind of look like I forgot to texture the back. Reva rounds out the bunch, of course. Now, I'd love to show you her face being painted, but that footage got a little fried. Which is a shame, because I think it came out nicely. Regardless, the yellow went on pretty well. Starting from a white-yellow mix always helps. Alright, Sabers. Turns out, you can get 0.85mm spring steel wire pretty easily. Some delicate drilling, a bit of tip sanding, and sturdy blades. No more bent saber. Good VR game though. Small question. How does one paint a glowing tube without it looking weird? The hilt's probably the brightest point, but the tip needs a bit of that too to draw focus. In between those parts, a smooth blend of pale colour. The darkest part I decided to put nearer the hilt, so the end of the blade was paler and more flickery. As a final touch, a sharp white highlight on the top edge from both ends. Obviously, the hilt side one shows up a lot more. Jumping ahead, I did add some fluorescent glaze to the sabers after they were on their bases, so I could get the glow to show up on matching fabric. Speaking of bases, I was a little stuck. Needed something that would work for all my squads, including Dathomir, while also reminding me of the Power Rangers base from the original TV series. Something rough and craggy then, with dark red twisting roots, but pale sandy green on the top, which involved building flat-ish surfaces from cement pieces and the odd bit of cork. Some roots thrown on, and texture paste to tie it all together. That could then be dry brushed up from dark red through sand and camo green, all the way up to pale blue and orange. Okay, warmed up grey. Some shading helped pick out the shapes a bit more. For the metals, I stayed dark. They don't need to draw attention. And similarly dark for the roots, but with plenty of red-black, this plant is bad for you energy. The absolute last touches were blacking out the edges and adding a bit of gloss tinted with contrast paint for some swampy goodness. Just in the deepest parts. What do I say at this point? It's dumb, and I love it. And at this point, I can even show you the other two members of the squad as a treat. In tonight's performance, the role of Zordon will be played by Zordon Krennic. We'll just pretend this bear primer isn't there. No one needs to know about that. I sure didn't know until a painting judge pointed it out. That aside, what do you think? Any ideas on the lightsabers? let me know. And maybe I'll see you next time.